Go. Yo, what's up? It is Cole. Here we
Eh,
get in the car. F1 GP breakdown thing. And I'm with
eh,
my boy.
yep. I'm Ian,
What's
big
up? Yeah,
dog.
we've been friends for years. Uh, got into F1 year and a half ago. So we are experts and we know exactly what we're talking about. And you don't need to go to anyone else.
hmm
Okay. So let's go through we're gonna go through the Miami GP today. Talk about that, but we're also gonna talk about some drivers, just the season, whatever. So, we can do some team breakdowns. Um, so I say we start. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, we'll start with the race. So we got a Miami Grand Prix on
Yep.
Sunday. Uh, it's a circuit, 3.3 miles long, around Hard Rock Stadium. First race there.
Ever.
Brand
It's
new.
honestly badass. Honestly badass. Miami
Yeah,
seems like a dope place. I want to go to the race. I wish it was on South Beach Avenue, but I'll take what we can get. At least there's some water. The Snake Canal area, although it looks kind of trashy, it looks kind of cool at the same time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, hey, freshly paved, new asphalt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it it looks like it looks like a pretty decent like circuit. You got a couple long straights and then a bunch of twisty turnies for the lap. So,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah. Well, we were
speci-
talking about it earlier. 11 to 16, man. Just look
yeah,
nuts. I
Florida
watched a video.
Turnpike.
I sent it to
Yeah,
you. Yeah, we watched it. The Assetto Corso sim racing thing. I mean, that guy must have been so hard on the brakes. I got the pedal and the wheels. I know how that feels. Must suck.
yeah,
That does not look fun. And
you
it's
gotta
like
slow down big time.
just even watching that video too. And I know it's not the same as like what the race is going to be, of course, but like, God, it looks so tight. It
hmm
looks like it's gonna be so hard to do overtakes and things. I think like quality. I mean, as always, quality will matter, but like kind of like I don't know the other tracks that are like that, but I know that those tracks are just like it's so tough to overtake unless you're in the top dogs. So like start of the race and then qualities are going to be so big, man.
Your only
So big.
chance is probably on the straights and like DRS zones and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you just have to slow down big time around those turns,
How many DRS zones are there? I'm gonna look that up real fast.
right? Um,
DRS zones in
but yeah, I mean, it looks
three.
fun.
Three of them.
Oh, dang!
That's cool because Imola, like, yeah, like I guess we can talk even a little bit about Imola. Like Imola, that was the least fun race so far. Like, I mean, it was cool, no complaints. I get it, but like, eh, just the
Yeah.
no DRS was just so tough, man. It made it so boring. There's just
They
nothing.
didn't. They enabled it so late, and
Yeah,
then nobody really went for it. It
right.
seemed, even when it got enabled. So yeah, I mean, I still enjoyed the race, but we had to get up at like so early. I mean, I was talking a lot because I was on like 2 hours of sleep, no lie, and I just was like into it. But yeah, in terms
I
of
was
what
tired. I did
actually,
not sleep.
yeah, in terms of what actually happened, it was just super straightforward until Charles went down like three
Yeah,
spots. That was
facts.
like the only thing that really happened.
Facts. Facts, facts, facts.
Yeah, moving
Oh.
into this, I mean, yeah, we'll move into the drivers and the teams and whatnot.
Yeah,
Um,
let's go through the teams like one by one just
mhm.
for a second before we get into like the driver questions. I
So
think like
starting at the top, you'd say, got Ferrari.
yeah, sure, yeah, let's start at the top. That's easiest. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Ferrari. I mean, I'll go first on my like
hmm
opinion. Like, Ferrari's dope. They're killing it. But
Yeah.
like I think they just have I mean, Red Bull is just such a monster breathing down their neck right now. It's kind of scary. Like it just seems like every week the Red Bull gets more reliable and quicker, and
hmm
even Perez looks like an absolute monster stud. I guess I'm like combining Red Bull and
Yeah.
Ferrari, but I mean, yeah, they're at the top, so it makes sense. They're the two top dogs.
They need a
But like, I
bounce
mean, just
back. Yeah.
so bad. And signs, I'd be playing the F1 fantasy, man. I just keep betting on him, and he's just had some bad luck. It's tough, but God, watching him go in the gravel backwards again was so unfun.
They need a bounce back from both of them right here because, like, yeah, they're still at the top of the drivers and the constructors, but and they're really fast and really reliable. But it's basically just come down to like driver error. Like you
Yeah,
have Signs spinning himself out in Australia, and then he gets hit from the side or the back by Ricardo
is the side. Yeah,
in Emola, and then Leclerc would have had third most likely, but then he just takes a corner too fast and spins out and loses 3 spots. So yeah, they really just need to bounce back so they don't make this gap even smaller.
yeah, 100%. It is just been driver error for error from Ferrari. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
that's why I think Signs. I think Signs would have been a fine pick in fantasy every time. Sorry to talk about fantasy again, but like,
Yeah,
it's been on my nerves, man. Like 2 weeks in a row, he's just minus 20 from him is just so sad, and it's just his fault, really. I mean, like Saban Imola, I really think I can't remember what happened. So I know actually I do remember. Qualifying was crazy, like just in terms of wrecks and red flags and things. So he's just been he's just been really unlucky. His luck's got to turn. I'm pulling. So I like Signs. I'm really pulling for Signs. I love my boy. And Leclerc is a stud, but like when you're in a championship hunt, you can't be like pushing. Like just take the third, man. Like they're ahead. You're on Imola. It's hard to overtake. Take what you can get. You don't need to push like that. Like it was just dumb. It was a bad move. That
yeah,
really
he
was
would have.
that was
He would.
weird, uncharacteristic, especially from the beginning of the season. He's just been like the clinic. Like it's like dang, and it's weird watching like it's so different between him and Verstappen. Like Leclerc is like, I mean, he's aggressive and all that, but he's clean, man. Verstappen's kind of doity. He's a little
Hmm.
doity with it.
Yeah, it's
Verstappen's
what.
dope though too.
It's a difference of like um yeah, like 10 points or something because he gets the 7 from the sprint race, and then I think he got 8 for sixth. I think third is like 15 actually. So maybe, yeah, maybe a difference of like 7 points or so, but
Yeah,
still, that would have been way better.
absolutely. Okay, we should move on to the
Yeah,
the
Red
other
Bull.
teams though. But yeah,
Yeah,
Red Bull,
Red Bull.
Ferrari, dope
Not
race.
not
Yeah,
much to
go
say
Red
about
Bull.
Red Bull. It's just like I think they're the only team as fast as Ferrari. They've just had reliability issues with the car, and I mean it was a flawless Australian Grand Prix from them, like car wise and everything. And yeah, they got a 1-2, so it looks like they're back. So
Imola.
they're Emily, yeah, Emily.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean they're applying the pressure again. The car looks good.
absolutely. I agree. And I like Perez has been dope this year. First pole and all that. I like Perez. Perez is cool, man. I like
He's
all the
done
drivers,
well.
dude. That's the truth. But
He's right next
he's
to
really like
Max.
showing his worth and being like, dude, I deserve this spot and I can help and also challenge and all that. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's only 5 points behind Max. So.
yeah, yeah, for real.
um, Mercedes, George, yeah. So a big point is that George is doing much better with the car than Hamilton is, which I think surprises everyone because
Yeah,
it's his first year with Mercedes, his first 4 races with Mercedes, and he just looks like the better driver. Like we watched Hamilton get 14th and be stuck behind an AlphaTauri for like half an hour. It was
yeah,
kind of embarrassing for them.
right. While like Russell is like maintaining, I can't remember who's leading or threatening. I mean, he's just up there. He's in the mix. He's at the top. He's defend. It's just so odd. It's so odd to see Lewis in the back, and then like even just the little media I've seen about it is also very weird. Like the quotes. It seems like Mercedes is still very like at least publicly trying to be like very team Hamilton. which
Yeah.
is just kind of weird. And that must be so hard as the Mercedes 2 driver to be. I mean, I get it. He's you know Lewis F and Hamilton. So how do you not give him the respect? But still, like I don't know. When does it turn? It's kind of the same thing with Ferrari. Like when does it turn? Like if Sainz just keeps doing this, when does it become like okay, we need to put in everything in Leclerc, you know? And Sainz is the second driver. It's not like a team anymore. It's
Yeah.
the old Valtteri Bottas thing.
Yeah,
So
I mean, Russell just looks like the better driver right now because there's just
and
so much
the
blame on the car, but they're driving
yeah,
the same car and he's doing so much
right.
more. The
Well,
difference is fourth to 14th.
right.
Like that
And
is
Russell, I mean,
huge.
you watch Russell's car too, dude, and like the same straight that Hamilton is, just
Yeah.
just getting rocked. So is Russell. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's Mercedes. I think that they're a sleeping giant. I think it's so after the dominance they've had. How could you
Yeah.
really count them out yet? I mean, they would have to. It's something's. I don't know. It's gonna have to be like halfway through the season where you can even consider being like, okay, like what's going on? But of course everyone's gonna. So
I feel like George might have just come out a bit hungrier since he wants to prove like they made the right move in picking him up and whatnot.
true.
So
And I think they did all the way.
oh,
George is
yeah,
a stud.
he's a beast. I think if he was in a Ferrari or a Red Bull, he'd be competing for the top right now. But
I agree.
you know,
I agree.
um,
I think at least he'll be competing at some point. I don't think Mercedes is dead at all.
yeah, I don't think they're dead at all. They need to fix the issues with the car. They
Facts.
still could, but they're looking
Yeah.
like a third place team right now.
Yeah.
McLaren, uh, Lando is
Stud.
doing well. He's keeping them in it. And then Danny Rick is just like an anchor weighing them down.
Danny Rick is drinking dog water. Like
Yeah.
someone check this guy's bowl. Something's wrong. I don't know. I mean, watching like the Drive to Survive season and stuff, and like a lot of it was just like him complaining about trying to get used to a new like style of car, I guess, like
hmm
McLaren very different from old teams, and it's like, okay, well, that doesn't work anymore, like at all. And he's had good performances for him. It's just, yeah, the different. I don't understand McLaren this year at all. They're so confusing. I thought they were gonna make a big step up, like
He just seems in his head, dude. Because yeah, I mean I think the poor finishes just like get to him and he's just
yeah,
not racing with like the same confidence
he's
because
definitely lost confidence. 100. It's obvious. I mean, what? He used to be like, the king of the late breakers and like he used to be like aggressive. And I mean,
yeah.
I barely hear his name. He's just like the orange car who's driving wherever he is, and there's no talk
He's
about
kind
him.
of
Like,
disappeared. He used to be a guy who could win like 4 or 5 races a year, and now he's
right.
just like a bottom dweller. Um,
Nothing.
so then we have Bottas in the Alfa Romeo.
Dude, I mean,
He's racing well.
like for real. Like Bottas looks like just even so good that he deserves like another. I don't know. It's too early to
Top
say, but
team.
like he deserves another top team or something. I mean, he's ridiculous. He's actually so good.
hmm
And the Alfa Romeo is kind of good this year too. Even the Chinese driver Zhu is like he's not doing poorly at all, especially for a rookie season. And I heard I heard he's very much like a pay driver, and very much in it because he's Chinese, and they Chinese driver, good big money backing. So that's just the way of
Yeah.
the sport. And like for him to like be holding his own, get hitting overtakes, and I don't think he's wrecked yet, which is I mean, God, Mazepin was the polar opposite, and he was like the same
Yeah.
way. Like, I mean, that's how this guy was like presented seemingly. I think everyone was just so worried he's going to be such a bad pay driver who didn't deserve his seat, but he's doing good.
Bottas
But
looks hungry again because he's like, hey, I'm not just having to be Hamilton's teammate. I get to just drive the car.
right, I'm the one. Like, I get to do whatever I want. And he's on like even like everything. It seems like everything's changed. Like his starts are good. His qualifying is better. Like it's
hmm
it's ridiculous. It just seems like a whole new driver. It's dope. I you
Yeah.
know We
I
got
like that
into
for
it
him.
because I know Bottas. I think Bottas was in like Williams and stuff before we ever started watching when he like first came in and was getting his chops, and he was great there. So it's like, yeah, it makes sense. But we never saw it. I always just saw him as like the Mercedes bitch, honestly. So
Yeah, it's how it goes sometimes. You don't get
now
picked to
he's
be
not.
the premier driver.
Yeah,
Um,
we talk about AlphaTauri. That
yeah.
that that car. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. Like Pierre Gasly's a stud. He's kind of the same as like Bottas. Like he's definitely deserving of a better car and a better team. But
Gasly is just weird because like he hasn't got promoted yet. He's just like I feel like he's been on the AlphaTauri for a while now, and
yeah,
it's like it's just one of those weird situations where it's like, I mean, I don't know how he's supposed to put up like much better results than what he is putting up. Like,
yeah, he's won a race for AlphaTauri. Like he's done some
yeah,
ridiculous things, and he's constantly in the top 10. Battling. Sometimes he drops back because of weird things, but yeah, like he's a stud. But
hmm
Yuki, on the other hand, is not a stud, and he needs to. I feel. I mean, I don't know. We haven't been in it long enough to really know, but I know that Red Bull does not put up with that fat like at all. So if
yeah,
Yuki
the
doesn't like
attitude.
do, yeah, and just also just poor performance more than anything, I think they'll accept attitude. Like Verstappen's got an attitude for sure, but he's
True.
got the skill to back it up.
Yeah.
Yuki just kind of gets mad. I don't think he's not like egregious or anything, but he's just he's got to take such a big step up, or you're just not going to stay in AlphaTauri. There's no way. Like,
Yeah, he brought it back in Imola a little bit. I think he finished seventh or eighth, something like that, which is decent. But
he's had some good drives, but it's just like it's the lack of consistency. I think
yeah.
is just he needs to just like if he can put that together, and yeah, just be closer to Gasly. Really.
hmm
So there's just sometimes he's so far back and just doing things so odd. But yeah, I guess overall pretty decent year from him. I
And
haven't been
then,
paying too much attention to him in truth.
yeah, and then you have Alpine, who
They're so weird, bro.
I
They're
haven't been
just such a
paying that
midfield
much
team.
attention to. It's weird because yeah, they have uh Alonso, right? Who's
Yeah.
just like ancient at this point. And then you have
Legend, though.
Ocon, yeah, legend. But it's just one of those weird situations because they have Ocon who is like good but hasn't taken like a step up really, and then you pair him with like a very senior driver, and they're just a middling team. So
Yeah,
I feel like there's
they
just not
are.
much to say
And
about them.
Ocon's weird. I feel like Ocon had like the Gasly aura around him like a couple years ago, where he was in consideration for the Bottas seat and stuff, and now like
Yeah, because he won a
I don't
race. He
know.
was looking
I,
good.
I guess Alpine's kind of having like the same year they were last year. Like they're good. They're very fast. Like we've seen it out of Alonso in qualifying and stuff sometimes where it's like whoa whoa whoa, that was a crazy lap. But like yeah, it's the same thing. Consistency problems and so, like they just can't. And Alpine's Renault, and it's the same
Yeah,
Renault. Like they haven't changed. They do the same thing. They're good. They're fine, but they're not going to take that step up. And I don't think they
yeah,
I don't think an Alpine could win the race like at all.
yeah. It's like yeah, Renault wasn't doing very well, but you're expecting them to at least like start to contend for like fourth or fifth or like solidify one of those spots, but they just haven't really done that.
Yeah, Alpine's a weirdo. Aston Martin,
Dude,
terrible, weird. I
Lance
don't like Lance
Stroll,
Stroll.
he's
I like Vettel a lot, and it's just like sad. He looks like a really sad old man on a really bad team, and it just kind of sucks.
agreed. Yeah,
It's just really sad, and everyone. It doesn't make sense because they have so much money. They're pumping so much money into that team, and they're just so middling. It's terrible.
Lance
It's
Stroll, daddy's money.
daddy's money. That
How,
one
how
wreck.
many
What was that
years is
wreck?
it? How many years has it been? He's had his seat for like 3 years now or something.
Maybe even
Or this?
four.
Yeah, it's just like when do you just go? He's not very good and get a new driver. Like
They
the
just
Paul.
never will. Well, now his dad owns
Yeah,
Aston. I don't know. I think he'll be around till he's like 40 if he wants to be.
the
If
politics
he
of
can
it are
take
just
the heat for being so trash, like he sucks, bro.
the politics of it are so weird. It's
Yeah,
like, oh, we're fine with just spending so much money and being bad because
it's my
hey,
son.
my son gets to be a racing car driver.
Yeah, you get to waste a car, allowed to twack in
hmm
16th place constantly.
All right, we're
Yeah,
almost
but just
wrapped up here. We have Haas and Williams.
Haas. Let's do Williams because I got some stuff on Haas.
Williams,
Williams is quick.
Lat-
Latitti is terrible.
Latitti is an awful driver. You got to move on
Horrible.
from him after this year.
Yeah, he's just
Have to.
such a terrible pay driver. You can take the cut. You're fine, Williams. Like he's all horrible. But Albon though, Albon's a stud, and I'm glad to see him getting like a second chance and showing that he's like actually a good dude.
Yeah,
'Cause
Aussie Grand Prix, he popped off. Like, how do you? He went from last to 10th. Like, man, he
yeah,
was
and he drove on
racing.
the same pair of tires until the last
Oh yeah,
lap. That was Ben
like
Baller.
56 laps. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then,
Haas.
uh, yeah, yeah, Haas. K Mags, dude.
Dude,
K Mags.
I'm a big Haas fan. I'm a Haas truther this year. I've got a hot sports opinion that they could I think they could totally win a race if they got lucky. If things got lucky and they could do it. I think they
I
have like the car. I think they have the car for it. Like the car is sick. The car is fast. It's just I don't know. I guess I'm just so hyped because they went from I mean they were
last.
worse than piss water last year and now they can compete. It's badass.
Yeah, it's like we talked about. They just need some better strategy because it's like you're getting P5 or like P4, just like something crazy for a Haas, but then you're just like dropping so many spots because you're like
Because yeah,
slow.
yeah, like last race, like Imola, K Mag just missing his
Pit
or the
window.
just incorrectly judging the pit window and just totally missing out, and then it's your race is just totally boned when you do that. And then I think what they did too, if I remember right, is like I think they switched him onto hard. Just they switched him onto a weird compound that just didn't make any sense. Like everyone else was switching to the other
Yeah,
thing to
yeah,
get their car faster, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna do the. Yeah, I think they're expecting everyone to pit again, which just didn't happen. So it was
yeah.
just like, what are you doing? And they did the same thing another race this year where I was just very confused by K Mag's thing because like we talked about it. Mick Schumacher, someone's got to poke that guy with a stick like he's a dead horse because
You
something's up.
okay, Mick?
Like, dude,
You breathing?
you're. I think everyone's pulling for him. Of course, it's Schumacher, crazy last name, but like, if you can't even, I mean, not even can't, he's just. I mean, I get it. K Mag is a sick driver. I didn't even understand because he'd always been on bad teams when we've been watching, but
hmm
upon like going back and seeing, like K Mag has been like the infamous, crazy aggressive, just fast driver, and so it's
Yeah,
cool
he's
to see
making
him
the
get
Haas
another
look
chance.
fast.
He
He
makes it
definitely
look so fast.
He definitely has more experience than Mick, but it's like,
The
Mick,
gap is too big,
if
though.
you get a point, like even one, it helps us in the constructors cup
Infinitely.
because they need money. It's always they need
Right.
money. So like help them secure money, please.
They need money more than ever now with Mazepin out, bro. Like Urlicali isn't even a sponsor, and that was their title sponsor. So
Yeah.
they got to do well this year and attract sponsors. So yeah,
Yeah, because right now they're sitting in 8th, and at least some of the racing out of K-Mags, I would be hoping for like 6th or 5th. And I mean, they're still only like 10 points behind Romeo in 5th, but it's like that could be them if
right.
Schumacher was just getting in the points.
Seemingly easily. Like I mean, it really seems to me like, especially in qualifying and stuff, like K-Mag is like easily putting it on 5th and 6th and
Yeah.
like top 10, and then easily during the race getting. He's not even having a great start, but he's easily able to like overtake one or two people, like even good
The car looks
cars.
decent. The car
Yeah,
looks
that's the thing.
decent.
The car looks really good, and it's insane
Yeah.
to see Mick just at the back of the scoreboard fighting with Latitti still. It's
Yeah.
like it's weird.
Um All right. So then we have the last section, which is just some questions, some topics. We kind of covered, yeah, we kind of covered some. Um, the Russell point, we kind of just said
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, we went
hungrier.
through a lot of them. I guess I see
Yeah.
one that we didn't like. Mick gonna get a point or Latitti? Who's getting it first?
Oh, jeez. It's got to be Mick, cuz I think Latitti is the worst driver in F1.
I think he's so uncomfortable in the Williams too. He literally has no
Yeah.
idea what he's doing.
Yeah, he just seems lost. Whereas like Mick, it's probably a confidence thing. If he could just like get a good time in qualifying, he could probably stay in the top 10.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. He's a good driver. He just needs to clean it up.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I think the only other one we didn't do before we wrap it up could just be who's your favorite driver at the moment?
Favorite driver for me so far is Russell, just because it was being talked about him joining Mercedes for a while. He finally gets his chance, and he's taking advantage of it. Like, if whatever happens with Hamilton, I'm not saying they should do anything, but it's like at least good knowing that you have Russell,
Right.
who's racing so well when Hamilton is not.
Yeah. I would say
Yeah.
my favorite is Magnussen
Yeah.
right now. K Mag. I'm full in on the Haas hype. I think K Mag is a stud, especially going back and like looking into him more and seeing kind of his style and stuff. Like he's just kind of dope. He doesn't seem to give a shit and just kind of sends it, and I respect that.
Because he was
The
with them
American way,
earlier,
baby.
right? He was with them earlier, and they
Yeah.
let him go, and then they brought him back, and he looks
Yeah, and
even
I can't
better now than before.
like even Haas was like good when they first entered too. They had like a good year initially, and I think he was with them during that maybe or with
Hmm.
another team. And he's been around for a while with a couple different teams, and he's kind of always had that personality. I saw a good
Yeah.
video of like it was like an interview after the race, and another driver walks up and just like tells him like once again the biggest like dickhead on the on the driving thing, and K Mac just immediately is just like suck my balls, mate. So
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that, and yeah, I'm endeared. That's the boy.
Hmm.
So that's my favorite.
All
I
right.
think we wrap it up there. There you go.
Wait, do we want to do a prediction for Miami real quick?
Oh yeah, we can do a
Quick
prediction.
prediction.
We can do a quick predict.
Um, I
Well,
mean,
we
I'm
can
not
do
I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. Let's do podium, I guess.
yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Max wins, Charles second, and I think Sainz bounces back and gets third.
Dang, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that. Um, I like that. I'd agree with that. But just to
Different,
be
yeah.
different, I'll give you another one. I'll give you I think Charles will win. Perez will get second,
Ooh,
and Verstappen will get third.
ooh.
Ooh,
And then it gets interesting because then they're neck and neck in points.
yeah, yeah. That's what I want to happen. That would be
All
good.
right, yeah. Okay,
All
that's
right,
it for F1 Miami Grand Prix talk.
get in the car
Uh,
preview. Thanks for
yeah,
watching.
get in the car preview. We'll do another one for next race. See ya.